If there's ever to be hope of breaking the stigma surrounding addiction, we must first start by talking about addiction, not the version you were sold, the truth. Addicts didn't start this war, they inherited it. The first wave came during Vietnam when heroin was moving through military channels. Soldiers came home strung out and broken, and nobody asked why. You think heroin just magically appeared on the same planes carrying the dead bodies of our soldiers? They knew exactly what they were doing. Then came the 80s, and this part still blows my mind. The same government that filled classrooms with "just say no" was flying cocaine into this country. That wasn't rumor. That was the CIA's own operation. They used the contrast to move product, fund their war, and flood poor communities with crack. And then when the smoke settled, when the damage was done, they turned around and called us the criminals. They built prisons for the addicts they created. They put mothers in cages, left kids to grow up without them, and called it justice. They didn't just destroy lives, they built industry out of the fallout. Then Big Pharma came along wearing lab coats instead of camouflage. They told the doctors it's medication, it's safe. They knew it wasn't. They falsified the data, bribed the regulators, and unleashed the next generation of chemical slavery. When the people got hooked and prescriptions stopped, everything unraveled, the sickness hit. The withdrawal, despair, trauma. People were shaking, vomiting, screaming, dying, and begging for help that would never come. And then the same system that created the sickness turned around and called it a war. They gave us a label for life, addict, and called it a moral, ethical deficiency. They told us it was a war on drugs, when it was a war on the American public. That's not a war on substance, that's a war on people. They profit off the supply, off the suffering, and off of the cells that hold the people they poisoned. They built an economy on pain. And the cruelest part, they trained society to hate the addict instead of the architect. They made you believe your brother was the problem, not the system, that poisoned him. They made your mother cry over your choices instead of questioning who put the needle in your reach in the first place. Yeah, we have to take responsibility for our own actions, but they have to take responsibility for the design, because addiction in America wasn't discovered, it was engineered.